Good morning. It is Tuesday, the 2nd of November. I was struck in the readings today, Nehemiah 12 and Revelation 11, how there is great worship, and that worship follows, there's a sense in which I believe the worship follows a particular format. If we go back to the book of Nehemiah in the Old Testament, Nehemiah 12, Jerusalem has been reoccupied by the Jewish people. Not all of the Jews have left Babylon and other areas from their captivity, but a significant number have returned, and I'm pretty confident that a continuous stream of people would return. But the city walls of Jerusalem had been rebuilt, the temple had been rebuilt, and the reading today in Nehemiah 12 picks up the opening ceremony of the rebuilding of that temple and the beginning of worship. And there is a real sense of order and structure, of pomp and ceremony. There are, for example, two large processions that walk around in opposite directions but meet up in the Lord's temple. And again, read it for yourself and see the order in which it is done, and the particular class, the Levites, who make up the priestly order, and they all have particular roles to play. In the book of Revelation, we bring about we read about the very big ending of the world. And again, as God brings about his purpose and will for the earth, the picture of worship in heaven is again actually very ordered. And there is a sense of repetition at certain points. The elders fall down and worship the God, and they say prescribed words. And it seems to me that in the old line churches or the mainline churches, for example, the Anglican Church, we tend in our worship to follow a pattern which is very ordered and structured, and there is a sense of repetition. And I don't find myself opposed to that at all. I don't see that it is wrong. What I would want to suggest, though, is that it must all be focused on God. That was the whole purpose of the order and the processions, etc., and the repetition of the words, the kind of liturgy that is being used. It all points to something far greater than those worshipping, and our worship must point to something far greater than ourselves. Nowhere in the scripture, interestingly, do we read that people just simply did their own thing. And there was times when they shouted out praise to God, but it kind of was put in at particular points to that order and procession. And so I think we must be cautious about simply condemning the order and procession in the Anglican Church. In the Anglican Church as an example, there are many other churches that worship in a similar fashion, but it must all be pointed to God. It must all have a purpose. Interestingly, in Nehemiah, the people didn't just process with great fanfare and that was it, and then they all went home. That was but the beginning of the worship and the focus of God. So let's not be put off by law and order and procession and repetition and liturgy, but let it be used aright. Let it be in its proper place. And of course it may change from time to time. We're not living in the Old Testament. We don't have to do what Nehemiah and Ezra did as they opened the temple for the first time, but certainly they gave us a precedent, and that precedent of order and of liturgy and procession was there. But let us do it for the right reason. So when you worship God, there's no harm in repeating words, in the sense that what you pray Monday, yesterday, and what you pray today might well be exactly the same prayer, but it's done because your heart is really seeking after God and worshiping him. I don't believe there's anything wrong in that. And into that you can intersperse a time of just free, joyous, almost righteous praise to God that has no format and no structure. But that can't be, this seems to me to be the takeout from this reading. There has to be some structure. It cannot be just a complete, utter free-for-all, and that we call that worship. I'm not sure. I don't believe that is worship. Folks, worship God however it feels most comfortable for you, but make sure the worship is God, of God, and to God, and for God, and honors God. We'll chat again tomorrow. God bless.